Hi again, Keith Bond from Bond Christian Counseling here. Wanted to do a quick video about forgiveness, especially as it relates to marriage and the possibility of infidelity. So sometimes clients will come and I will talk to a couple who's gone through infidelity, and I show them this picture of the house and this is the house of us. And and so they'll tell me about their relationship, and and basically everybody says that we need better communication. um, but the pillars of the house of us is actually built on trust and built on commitment. And so even when we get into big fights and threaten the relationship with the D word, then we are chipping away and wearing down these pillars of the house of us. And sometimes um, a client or a couple will come in and say how, well, we need better communication. And I'm like, okay, um, you want me to help you shingle the roof. But I'm telling you that I think we have foundation problems, and we might need to take this thing all the way down to the studs, because the the pillars of the house of us have been worn down over the years of deterioration of the marriage. With my stuff comes up and then your stuff comes up and we never reach resolution. And I've been looking at this marriage as my pursuit of happiness, but God never looks at it like that. So all of a sudden my pillars begin to crack, and the strength of it, and really the foundation may be settling or cracking, but the foundation of the house of us is actually emotional safety. How am I going to build trust and commitment in a relationship, in a home where it's not emotionally safe? And so you want to rebuild and reestablish emotional safety, then we need to forgive. And by the way, different theories will say, and I'm in complete agreement, like they can spot a couple that is going to get divorced in with 90+% accuracy just by the one component of contempt. And contempt is this root of bitterness that has grown in my heart, where I'm unwilling to be hurt again because I haven't kept my heart clean. I haven't been responsible for my own heart and keeping it clean through forgiveness. And in the original uh, feasts of the Jewish feast, they're not, by the way, they're the Lord's feast days. They're not the Jewish feast days. They just kept and maintained the oral traditions. But they have pieces interwoven inside of their Moedim, their rehearsals, that the Feast of Unleavened Bread, where I get all the leaven out of the house. Leaven represents sin. Or the Feast of Dedication, the Festival of Lights, where I rededicate myself every year. They have that. But we in Christianity don't have any of that. And where we talk about it and we become hearers of the word, not doers. And so I want to show you this piece about forgiveness, because if you track along with this, everybody knows that to forgive doesn't mean to forget. True? So, to the degree that, and then this phrase is important, to the degree that I forgive, then to that same degree, I can begin to respect. And to that same degree that I forgive, to that same degree that I respect, to that same degree, then I can begin to respect and to trust. And eventually, to that same degree that I now forgive and to respect and trust, then I can begin to love. So you want to build or rebuild the house of us after all of the chopping it down that my desires of the flesh have caused, whether it be a full threatening divorce or violent, escalated, um, find the bad guy arguments of these are the reasons why I'm right. No, these are the reasons why I'm right. No, these are the reasons why you're wrong. And like that never works. But the reason that we are so adamant is I want to be understood, but both of us wanting to be understood at the same time and being in the flesh and the desires of the flesh, where my flesh desires to speak to be understood, but in the spirit, we are commanded to listen to understand. And neither of us is submitting and listening to the other because we're so hurt. And our hurt does need attention, but my spouse may not be in the place and position to give me the attention that I need. And I'm not saying you're wrong for needing it. I'm saying the Lord asks and requires you to forgive. And there, I admit that there are, it seems like mixed messages in the New Testament about forgiveness. And I'll show you those scriptures here. So check out these scriptures. And these are from the New Testament, because I'll admit, it seems like at times the New Testament seems to give mixed messages about forgiveness, but in fact, they're all true. So 1 John 1:9 says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So the Father is faithful to forgive us. And yet in Mark 11:26, it says, but if ye do not forgive, neither will your Father, which is in heaven, forgive your trespasses. So which is it? Well, please notice the only person that this will concern is the person who is unwilling to forgive their brother. That's both are true, and we need to forgive. And it is actually a misnomer. I don't know if that's the right word, but I can't forgive myself. Since I'm not God, I can't forgive myself. In fact, I can only forgive others with the forgiveness that I have been forgiven. And what it's illuminating is Luke 6 about give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give unto your bosom. For the same measure that you met withal, it shall be measured to you. So, to some degree, the Bible and New Testament says that to some way that I measure others in my forgiveness, that's the same measurement that will be measured back to me. And I know that I need as lenient a judgment from the Lord as possible. And so that's the only thing that makes it possible for me to forgive others from the forgiveness that I've been forgiven. So hopefully that has blessed you and maybe even convicted you that you don't want to stand before the Lord in your day of judgment with any unforgiveness in your heart. He's forgiven you. So revisit that forgiveness by meditating on the beholding principle, beholding him and how much he gave up and sacrificed for you. He could have called 10,000 angels, but he died alone for me and you. Meditate on that, and it will pulverize and tenderize and soften your heart where you see your need for mercy again. Because everything about us humans in our relationship with God is that we need him. We come into agreement with our judgment because mercy is not getting what I deserve. I come into agreement with what I deserve and I cry out for mercy. And then he lavishes me with grace, which is getting what I do not deserve, his presence. That's the reward. So I hope this blessed you. Be well.